So these are 5 ways to increase resiliency, because I think that if you're somebody that's not very resilient, I believe that you can change. I believe that you can change. Your patterns can change. Your habits can change. Your habits and your behaviors are a reflection of the standard that you set for your life. So if you raise the standard that you set for your life, your habits are going to change. Right? So the first thing that I want to talk about is, and I'm just referring to business right now. First thing is you have to get clear on where this business could take you. You have to get clear on where it could take you. If you're starting a business and you're not clear on where it could take you, then you're just going to be completely annihilated along the way. Entrepreneurs get by on hope. We're just constantly filling ourselves with hope, right? And possibility and the what ifs. Nobody, like, if you're an entrepreneur, right, like we all are in the room, there's a party that's kind of addicted to the man, I can't wait when, the dream, like you're bought into the dream. But if you're not clear on where this business could take you, I'm telling you right now that when you get knocked down, you're going to have a hard time getting up. I spend at least 20 minutes a day, every day in my mind of where this business could take me. Every single day. Because if I don't do it, then the fear sets in. Even at my level, I get freaked out just like you do. I don't want to make calls. Right? I don't like it when people quit. It's not my favorite thing to do. Right? To deal with people that quit. I don't like that stuff. I don't like dealing with that stuff. Do I know I have to do it? I do. I embrace it 100%. I run towards it. It sucks the whole time that I'm dealing with it. Right? But it's just part of the deal. I'm clear every day on where my business could take me as a human being, right? And when the water gets a little bit murky and you get knocked down, boom, you're just not getting back up, right? And people are going to look at you and be like, oh, it was his spouse that took him out, and oh, you know what, he just wasn't cut from the right cloth. The second way to become more resilient is block out all of the noise. You have to block out the noise. You can't be looking over the fence at other people's lawn all the time. A great author, Steve Siebold, wrote a chapter in his book. He said the world-class people build and live in a cocoon. They build and live in a cocoon. The middle class look at those people and they think that the world class is pretentious, and that they think they're elitist, and they think they're better. No, no, no. The world class just know that they have to live in a bubble. And you can't keep letting external factors continue to mess with your mind. Right? Ed Mylett calls it protecting your passion. Do you protect your passion? If you have a best friend that's not an entrepreneur, that's fine. But if it's the friend that's always at you about your business is not good for you, and if that's who you're spending the most time with, you are exposing yourself to a nuclear reaction, thank you, at any given moment. If you're in a relationship and your partner is cutting you every time you come home, you're not going to bleed to death in one night, but you will bleed to, if you get 1,000 paper cuts, you'll bleed out. Most people die a death of 1,000 cuts. You should be building a cocoon. You should be living in a world that you're surrounding yourself with positive people. Yes? Yeah. Right? Because negative people will absolutely take you down. And when something bad happens and you're hanging around a bunch of jokers, you're just going to decide to paint your face and be one of those jokers. And it's game over. You'll become the average people you hang around, basically. Okay? So it's okay to isolate yourself. It's okay to change your friends over time. It's okay to evolve. It's okay to grow. It's okay to want better relationships. You don't need to have the friend from high school in your life just to say you have the friend from high school in your life. Right? You should be upgrading all the time. Okay? My third point to becoming resilient is don't make quitting an option. Like it just shouldn't even be an option. It's like, oh, you know, Sammy quit. I'm like, okay, cool, right? Sammy, right? Sammy who? Sammy. Oh, Sammy. Yeah, we're going to miss Sammy. Okay, cool. I didn't even realize that quitting was an option for him or her. Seriously, though. Like, when I got married, it wasn't like, yeah, you know what, till death do us part unless it gets hard. I mean, yeah, does divorce happen? For sure. Especially right now, lots of it happening. Most of it from financial issues. But when somebody comes to me and says, I'm quitting on my business, I'm quitting on entrepreneurship, the first thing I want to say is, dude, if this was something you could have quit on, you would have got fired a long time ago. This is a business. This is a business, right? So it's funny because everybody wants to negotiate the price along the way. It's like it's a toll road. I'm going to drive 50 kilometers and then I'm going to pay a little bit. And then I'm going to go another 20K. I'm just going to pay as I use it. Hey, if I sign up for this gym, can I just pay every time I show up? How about like $3 a workout? That way you spend $6 a month, right? I mean, it's a good deal instead of 80 or 100. No, it doesn't work like that. You pay upfront in full, and in fact, if you pay annually, you get a cheaper rate, don't you? Yep. Because it always makes sense. You pay upfront in full, and that's the decision that you make when building this business. Now, is quitting an option? I guess quitting is always an option. It's, you know what's really the only easy thing to do in business is quit. That's it. There's one easy thing to do in business, it's quit. But if it's never an option, then it's just a matter of time. Yes? Yeah. Like, think about this for a second. Just stay with me on this. If quitting is not an option, then it's just a matter of time. Now the question is, how much time is that going to take? 1 year, 5 years, 20 years? That depends on the pace that you're setting. That depends on the standard that you've set. If your standard is to be broke for the first 10 years as an entrepreneur, you're going to be broke for the first 10 years. Right? But when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired and you raise the bar, all of a sudden you start making money, or your business starts to compound, or you've been at it for long enough, you've been hitting the tree with the axe, right? And just that last hit with the axe, the tree falls over. But you've been hitting it for 6 months or a year. Or Milet talks about the piñata. Right? When you finally hit that piñata and the candy, he has shirts that says, "Get that candy." Oh man, it's pretty funny. Okay, my fourth point is remember who's watching. You want to be more resilient? Think about who's watching. I have this gal on my team, but she has a cousin who's younger than her, has been in real estate, does okay, makes okay money. Called her up, said, hey, I'm expanding my business, love to get in front of you. And you know what this gal said? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to help you. She's like, why? She's like, yeah, good luck. Just so you know, it's really hard. Click. It's really good luck, it's really hard. Wow. Thanks for the advice. She's watching. Last week, this agent was in a bit of a lull for a couple days. I called her up and said, hey, your cousin's winning. She's like, I effing hate you. She had the best day of the week. She crushed it. Guess who's watching? My family's watching. Every day, my wife is watching. Like my kids, I love my kids unconditionally, but I understand that there's a condition for my wife's affection, right? And I just think every day, I don't think if I don't do well here, she's not going to love me. But my point is that my whole family is watching me every day. Like every day I leave the house, my kids say bye to daddy, and every time I come home, they say hi. And they're starting to ask, how's it going? My son's starting to figure it out. My son's on YouTube now. And the other day I caught him watching one of my YouTube videos in front of 30,000 people. And he was just sitting there watching one of my talks on his iPad. A month ago, I posted something. I said, I'm just hanging out with my son tonight. I'm super proud of him. He's such a great kid. And he saw that story and brought it up to my wife. And he said, Mommy, Daddy said on Instagram that he's really proud of me. It makes me happy. And I was just thinking about that. I was like, man, like my kids are watching everything. They see everything. They see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think, man, you know what? That forces me to be resilient, right? People that I know are watching. My team is watching. Other people's team is watching. But most importantly, I'm watching. I'm watching me. And if I can't keep the promises that I make to myself, then I stop trusting the words that come out of my mouth. I can say I'm a tough guy and I get a, hey man, I get up. When I get knocked down, this guy gets up, right? And then we get knocked down, and then we're the worst of all behind closed doors. We're awful to our spouse. We're hard to be around, right? The super nice guy on the outside can be a bit of a, you know, a bit of a little bitch, no offense, on the inside when no one's watching except their family. And I think about that and I think, man, like, I'm watching me. I'm watching me. Like, am I proud? Am I proud of how fast I'm getting up off the mat? Am I proud of when somebody verbally attacks me? Am I proud of my response? Am I proud of my reaction? Am I proud of who I am as a person? Because I'm watching me, okay? And the last thing I want you to write down is it's not supposed to be easy, it's supposed to be possible. And we've been talking a lot about this. It's not supposed to be easy, it's supposed to be possible. You can't act when you get knocked down like you're surprised that you got knocked down. Look, I'm not saying if somebody passes away, take a couple days. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying people are going to pass away. You're going to have people not show up. Like, you're going to have clients cancel. You're going to have you're going to get sick. God forbid, but someone's going to get sick in your family. Like, stuff's going to happen. Somebody you know care about is going to pass away. It's just, yeah, it sucks. But it's life. You can't you can't stay down on the mat because a whole bunch of stuff is happening to you. Nobody started here because this was a get rich quick. Okay? Everybody here started because they wanted a real business. So we have to treat this like a real business. Okay? Our business is talking to people. Our business is making calls. Our business is doing appointments. Okay? Nobody came here because they wanted a get rich quick business. Everybody came here because they wanted something that would last forever. Yes? Yes. Like, who wants to build a business that you know won't be here in 5 years? Like, give me a break. I came here because I want to build a business that was generational. So I instantly thought generational. And what do I say? The further that you can see, the what? The faster you move. The further you see, the faster you move. Okay? Because you're like, oh man, I got a lot that I need to get done here. Every day, a great little test before your head hits the pillow as an entrepreneur, I just ask myself, am I moving towards a result or further away? Did I move closer to a result today, or did I move myself further away? I'm either getting closer to the target or I'm getting further away. The stagnation does not exist. A body of water that stays stagnant becomes a slough. There's a green film that gets over top of it. Do you know people in your life that never grow as a person? Does anybody know anybody that hasn't grown in 10 years? What happens to those people? They start to stink and drink. They start to drink. Do they get bitter? Yeah. Right? They're like senile, bitter. They love the news. They love the drama. They're always posting on social media about political stuff. They just haven't grown at all. Mm-hmm. And nobody wants to be around those people. So I want to be moving forward. And the difference right now, the difference is so slight, you guys. There's some of you right now that are working really hard on growing yourself. And you're a month or two away of having a massive breakthrough. I'm telling you because I've been in the breakthrough business for 15 years. Oh, I just see breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. I see a lot of people quit, but I see a lot of breakthroughs. And the people that stick with it and are resilient and get their ass up off the mat when they get knocked down, those are the ones that do it. So, listen, you're going to get off track. You're going to get off track. You're going to get off, you might even get off the rails. Like, I might have to send a search party for you to find you. But we will find you. We will find you. And we'll bring you back. Okay? But once you get on the rails, you guys, you got to be putting the coal in the fire. right? You gotta be pumping the jack. You gotta be working. You gotta be pushing this thing. You gotta be after. You gotta be making calls. You gotta be putting people in meetings. Whatever you want your business to look like, that's your responsibility. Does that make sense? And if you can get resilient and build that culture in your team, we're a bunch of tough SOBs, right? We're empathetic for each other, but man, we're fighters.
Shawty, watch it so when you're talking to me, 'cause I can tell.